gentlemen, we are here live on Facebook. We are here today from the lovely state of California, marketing, and I would say social media extraordinaire, Kaitlyn Belanger. Welcome to the show. All right, Kaitlyn, tell us a little about yourself and tell us about what you do. Tell us about yourself, how long you've been doing this, all that good stuff, please.
Okay. So again, my name is Kaitlyn. I have been in the marketing sector for a little over 4 years, and then specifically in the real estate business for 2 years. I feel like it all started back when I was in my senior year at college. My sister-in-law was working at Keller Williams at the time, and I was able to get an internship there, and she wanted me to kind of just rebrand her whole business. She was also doing property management at the time. So I was able to bring my marketing skills to her business. And I think that's kind of where I fell into real estate. And then it kind of progressed from there. Prior to doing real estate, I was doing a lot of freelance marketing. So I kind of always knew that I wanted to do social media. I got my bachelor's degree in marketing. So I was doing a lot of side work, and I also was filming like videos of myself, like posting, live videos. So I kind of just always knew that I wanted to be specifically in the marketing space, but now being in real estate has opened up a whole new world, and being able to take my marketing skills into the real estate space has been really rewarding so far. So it's been great.
Right. And you get to work with the queen of marketing, Maria Hill. That's what I call her, the queen of marketing. Awesome. So tell us, okay, so I'm an agent, I'm trying to get involved in this kind of stuff and so forth. Tell them what you would recommend. What would be a good place to get started on this journey of maybe, like you said, rebranding and more social media, taking advantage of digital marketing, all that good stuff, please.
Right. I've been doing a lot of that with agents lately, and it's honestly my favorite thing because, everyone has to start somewhere, right? And I know for agents, it can be really time consuming. They think it's this whole thing that they have to spend all this time, and they're very off-putting to it at first. But my biggest tip is to be consistent. You don't have to have the most perfect content. You just need to put it out there. And you just need to show up consistently, because people want to see someone that's, constantly online. They want to be able to connect with you on like a more personal level. Like you are the person that's going to be helping them make, the biggest decision of their life, which is buying a house. So when they're connecting with you online, they want to see, both, I think, like the business side and the personal side of you. So helping agents set up, we do have our SOC and ACE, which I always tell the agents, this stuff posts automatically for you. So when you're, in a rush, you can just, schedule out content for a month at a time. So you're not worrying about, I would say take maybe an hour out of your week to start. And, if you want to start creating your own content, that could be, something you get into. But for right now, while they're just starting, the automatic posting really helps them. And I think that that's what they're looking for, is to save time,
Right.
Which is huge for an agent.
Yeah, and that's SOC and ACE, like you said, right?
Right.
Now, what's the difference between the two of them, just so they have an idea?
So SOC has, you can connect all of your accounts, so your LinkedIn, your Instagram, your X, like all of your platforms. And I believe ACE only does automatic for Facebook, and then which is the Facebook is only company paid, and then after that there's a fee. But they both kind of do the same thing in grabbing content and automatically posting it for you. And you're able to pick your own content too. So you can scroll through different articles and say like, oh, I want to post this exact article on this day. And then you can schedule that out however you want.
Right. So you do I call those the company branded ones that are really good from the professional side, right? But
Right.
you mentioned earlier, you want to have that, but you also want to give them a little look into your personal life, how you are, what you're about, because that's how they get to know you, right? So you
Right.
want to have the professional stuff, but then you want to personal. I call it personalizing. I don't know what you call it. Personalizing means, like you said, I do videos, I do picture, I'm in it, I'm talking,
Right.
so they get to know, right? That's kind of important.
Right. And like getting to know them and seeing what they're about so you can help them even personalize their brand. Um, and also, I mean, there's a lot of tools and technology now. We have AI, which I think is super helpful and you can utilize it, but being able to make it a little more human and like putting, the most of your information in that you can so that it comes back, not so like staged, I would say.
Yeah, and a lot of people are doing even the avatars. I don't know. I mean, I think you can take it a little too far. I think they want to get to know you and they want to hear what you have to say. And you
Right.
mentioned earlier authentic. If you're consistent and authentic, they're getting to know you. So if you're like me and you have wrinkles on your forehead, and you haven't had hair in 10 years, you should just look like that, right?
Right. And I know a lot too are very scared about, being on camera for the first time, or I don't want to make videos of me. And content can be anything. That's the great thing is that you can batch create, or I can go outside and, take a video of the outside of my office and then put some text over it, put informational text, put a fun fact about real estate, and then add some music over and post. Like it doesn't have to be so overcomplicated, which I think a lot of people don't realize. They think they have to like spend hours editing and, it's this big process, but you can get there in the future. But right now, like the steps, just even taking the small steps to get yourself out there, I think is super helpful, and people will recognize that.
So true, so true. And marketing is really just, I mean, it's being familiar. I mean, like I mean, some of us may not like Home Depot or Lowe's, but you know who they are and what they do and what you can get there, right?
Right. And that's like the different platforms too. Is I mean, the one thing that I love about marketing, and especially social media marketing, is that it's always changing. Some platforms you've seen for a while, and then some platforms come and go, and that's why as a marketer, you have to always be ready for change and able to adapt.
Yeah, it's so true. It's amazing how even if you look back, the quality. Like, could you imagine this today? Whoops, wrong way. This today is, I mean, you have all the cameras and everything you need right in your. People ask me, even with my videos, what do you use for a camera? I go, that's my phone with decent lighting, like I have right here. It's all you really need, right?
Yeah, there's this segment that these people do on TikTok where they ask people, do you think this was filmed? Like, what do you think this was filmed with? And people always are like, oh, that's like a nice camera or whatever. And it's like, no, I just shot this with my iPhone, and it is the most insane quality. So you don't have to have like these nice cameras, or, just your phone will do to record great content. So that's my
Yeah, it's
opinion.
so true. It's so true, and it's changing all the time. It's like it's ridiculous how the quality, what your all the different filters and everything you can do. It's really amazing what you can do just and in a short period of time, right?
Yeah. And you can do it all on your phone. You can film, edit, everything. There's different apps you can edit on, or, you can edit right in the platform if you want. But it's like a one stop shop. Your phone is everything you need.
Yeah, and as a person that's been working with realtors for a while now, what platforms do you think for real estate are probably the most important, like the top three or four?
Top three or four. I would say it depends where your audience is, but I think like Facebook, Instagram, they have very different demographics. I feel like and then I would say YouTube is even starting to kick off again. And
Great.
there's, and I know people don't want to hear it, but I also think TikTok is really great for getting out there and being able to like maximize your views, because how like TikTok's algorithm works, your post just like goes on people's feeds, and then the more people that kick up and see it, it's like the more views. And I feel like you have more of a chance to, go viral on TikTok. Um, but I know that's like a lot of people are like, no, TikTok, But I would say stick to one or two platforms and get really good at it, and just post consistently on there.
Yeah.
Um, but I would say like my top four, I guess, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook.
Yeah.
Um,
And then I would say that I also use LinkedIn too. LinkedIn is pretty good for business. I think
LinkedIn, yes.
especially if you're my, like for your age, TikTok, Instagram, for my age, Facebook, LinkedIn. But I think, like you mentioned, TikTok and Instagram. I don't know about you, but when I think of TikTok and Instagram, I think the same exact thing can go on each one of those because they're kind of the same thing but different, right?
Right.
So, yeah,
That's why it's, if you link your Facebook and Instagram, you only have to go on one platform and say I post on Instagram, it automatically posts to my Facebook. I don't have to worry about going to the separate platform and posting on there as well. So
yeah.
it's hyperlinked, so it just automatically goes on that other platform for you.
And I totally agree with YouTube too, because I have a YouTube channel and I do, if you do a video like me, it's under a minute, it just goes right on shorts. And I'm
Right.
going to tell you, it gets as many or more views than my Facebook and
Yeah.
Instagram. It's like a lot of people like YouTube.
And I feel like the people that aren't on TikTok are on YouTube Shorts, like for that, like the different demographic, for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, if you're going to do dance videos and you want to be on TikTok, if you're going to be an old dude like me, then you want to be on LinkedIn and on YouTube.
No, just kidding. You can dance on TikTok. You know,
No, I
Maria
can't
does.
do it.
I make Maria dance on TikTok.
Oh,
If you
cool.
follow our TikTok account, our company account.
Oh, that's awesome. She's great. All right, cool. All right, so now that's a really good look and description when it comes to social media and so forth. What about digital marketing? Like, let's talk about some of our tools that agents should be using and almost none do. I mean, maybe 20% do. Some of the things that they should be using digitally. Like, what are your favorites? I know what mine are, but what do you think?
The ones that we offer, I feel like for digital marketing, we have like Chalk Digital, which is, your listing goes live. And I think when you get an email that's like 7 days of your listing goes live, which I know a lot of agents utilize, and they see great results with it. Um, I also want to bring up Agent Icon, which is another one of our tools. And this one, I love Agent Icon because it's, you can brand your own um, content on there. So you have like, you can brand your own, if you want to upload your own images or videos, those can be branded to the company as well. So I think but Chalk Digital, I would say, is like one of my favorites. I don't know which ones you were going to say.
Well, I like those. I also like, from an email standpoint, I like neighborhood reports, newsletters, those types of things that go out automatically that are very descriptive and that like I send one to myself and I look at it I'm like, wow, look at this. It tells me everything that's going on in my neighborhood. It's really, I mean, that's why I think it has such a great open rate because it's so informative for people.
Right. And a lot of agents too that I've, been working with have been, or they've been asking about, what can I do to get my listing out there more? And in our resource center, it grabs your listing and you can do an email blast or you can send it out to, a certain demographic of people. So I've been doing, in Nevada, it sends it to like all the realtors in Las Vegas. So that's another big one that I see a lot of agents do because
Okay.
that it just it targets the whole population. So.
All right, cool. So there's digital, there's there's social media. What other things, like from a branding or marketing standpoint, should be concerned with right now in today's world, so they look relevant, with the times and so forth?
As far as staying relevant with the times, I mean, I feel like social media is your big one.
Mhm.
But just making sure that you're staying up to date, with what works, what's not working for you. Um, farming, I know people, are going farming or social media, digital, tracking your, I know like not everyone wants to, but tracking your analytics, I think is important. Like when going back to, what's working and what's not because
I agree.
you don't want to like you don't want to overdo it and it's not performing well. So I think tracking your engagement, how many people are engaging with your content, your reach, who is this reaching, what kind of demographics are we looking at, and then the impressions, are people commenting, are people liking my posts, am I interacting back with them is another important one. If people are commenting, you want to comment back and start conversation, this could be a potential lead or so just making sure you're looking at your KPIs and your analytics too to see, what's working.
Right, and you're so right because real estate agents just don't want to do that, but it's so important to track. How many people are looking at this. When I do this, I even like mixed it up with my titles. The titles. I find the
Oh,
title you put on your video has a tremendous. The title, the hashtags, everything that you do has a tremendous amount of input on who's going to look at it and so forth.
right, especially hashtags. I mean, I always am using hashtags, whether whatever platform I'm using, because when people search up in the search bar, a general like real estate, or I always make sure to hashtag, real estate, what I'm posting, like open houses, new listing, some general broad ones that, this is what, like a big population is going to be searching. So this is where my post is going to end up, somewhere, hopefully somewhere in this vicinity that they're going to click on.
Yeah, and that's really the algorithm hack, if there is one, right? Is just having so many hashtags that no matter what they're looking for, they could end up at your video or post or whatever it is.
Yeah. And sometimes the algorithm's all over the place, so you never know, where your post is going to end up. But if you're using hashtags, I think that they're useful. I think they
Yeah,
are helpful in finding, what you're looking for.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And I always tell them too, as agents in the office. Okay, so I wouldn't have a lot of agents on I do because I'm trying to recruit people, I'm trying to retain people. So I have agents all over the place in our offices, in our markets. But as a real estate agent, I wouldn't have a lot of real estate agents except a few maybe in my office. And I would have a deal with them. Hey, when you see my post, start the commenting and I'll do the same for you. Because what happens when one or two comments happen, and then all of a sudden a chain of events happens. But if there are none, people go, oh yeah, right. So
Right.
I would say, don't be afraid to tell everybody, hey, comment if you like what you see, comment, get it started for me. I'll do the same for you.
Like, comment, and also tagging. I feel like tagging is another big thing, especially when people are posting about, Berkshire Hathaway, or doing stories, and it's like, okay, I want to repost them, but I can't repost your stories unless you tag our account in it. So that's another big thing, is tagging. Make sure you're always tagging the people that are in the picture, in the video, or the affiliate. So
Right.
it's another one.
Right, right. And the other thing I've learned too is you might go weeks without a lot of engagement, or a week without engagement, but then you post something and boom, you really
Right.
see how many people are watching it. So
Yeah.
don't always, I think when you get consistent, there's kind of a lot of people are commenting, but then you go through a period where, okay, now I see this person every day or every other day. So that's why I think you got to mix it up and be a little different. Be consistent, but mix it
Right.
up.
And sometimes you never know when something's gonna, break. I guess, for an example, one of my, personal TikToks, it went a little bit viral, and then it stopped for months. But I made sure I had like all these hashtags in. And then months later, people picked up, and now it got from like 7K views, and now it's at like 40K. So, I
Wow.
mean, it picked up months later. So, because people were looking up what I was hashtagging in the post. So,
Yeah.
it doesn't always, it could be, for my example, months later that it starts, getting the engagement that you needed.
Right. Yeah, and don't be afraid to cheat a little bit too. If you have young children and a puppy or a cat or a dog, people just love when you interject that into the equation.
Oh, yes, people love animals. So make sure you're posting that as well.
They really do. I like the ones where the dog. Have you seen the ones where they've really altered where the dogs are talking and the cats are talking, and it's hilarious. They
Yes.
spent Whoever did that spent a lot of money on it.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
They're getting a lot of views because it's hilarious. Even I watch them. And I don't have a
Keeps you
dog.
entertained.
Huh?
I said keeps you entertained.
Yeah, yeah. When you look at sometimes that's what you use social media for too. So like when I teach them about the phone, sometimes it takes a while to get good on the phone, or at your presentation. But you can always be a little enthusiastic or entertaining.
Right.
That's just
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
All right, good. All right. Anything else you want to mention to these lovely people when they're thinking about marketing, or especially as real estate agents? Anything else that we didn't cover that you may want to mention?
I would just say take it slow, especially in the social media world. I think a lot of agents are scared to, put themselves out there. Um, but my biggest advice also is just to stay up to date. I mean, I feel like we're always glued to our phones, and why can't we be using it for, staying up to date on the trends and, making sure, what we're talking about is relevant, to people want you to tell a story. They don't want just some like monogram, saying a script, or they want to be able to relate with you. So I think my biggest advice is, make yourself personable. People, that's my biggest advice. Make yourself personable for your brand.
Yeah. Be authentic, be personable, because if you're trying to be someone else, it's very transparent and
People will know. Yeah.
people can sense a phony. We all have that natural filter. Oh, this person is being authentic. Oh, this person is being a phony. It's really, really obvious, right?
Right. Right.
All right, awesome. Well, I just want to say, Kaitlyn, thank you very much for taking your time out today. I'm sure people got nuggets and all kinds of goodies out of this. And I really appreciate you and all the work you're doing. Thank you very much. Keep up the great work. And I look forward to seeing you soon, because I'll be in California probably next month.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me, Rick. I really appreciate it. It was great
My
seeing you.
Thank you for being on. I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
All
Bye,
right.
everybody. Bye, Kaitlyn.
Bye.